What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the second lesson about the foundation of quality theory. So, before starting, this lesson will talk about sequential SMT, so SSMT, and time frame alignment. Before watching lesson 2, I recommend watching either my playlist about market maker model and power of 3 or ICT core content. Why? Like we said in the lesson number 1, quality theory is just a refinement of ICT. The narrative behind every trade I take needs to have the understanding of market maker model and power of three because it's clearly my model. I don't trade only quality theory. I trade PO3, market maker model, and quality theory. So let's run into everything. We'll start right now with time frame alignment. So time frame alignment is the exact same thing, like I said, as what ICT teach in his core content. So the one he makes, market maker model time frame alignment, is exactly the same with QT, just a bit different. They've been there for a while and they are used to correlate higher time frame to lower time frame refinement. The difference between ICT and quality theory will simply be the time frame to spot what we will talk about, so the sequential SMT or any divergence, so the cracking correlation. This will be in lesson number 3 because it's a big part of quality theory, so I can't make these two in the same. Also, I will talk more of that in depth in the mentorship, but what we will talk about in the free section on the YouTube lesson will be good for the foundation. So time frame will vary, idea remains the same. So ICT time frame alignment equals QT alignment. Just a bit different on some point, but they can be used together. So the alignment cheat sheet. So if you want to screenshot that, take note of that. It will be great. So for the market maker model, so all what ICT teach previously, the 4 hour time frame, you will go on the 15 minute. 1 hour time frame, 5 minute. 15 minute time frame, 1 minute. So like I said, I recommend watching market maker model theory. Can be mine, can be anyone on YouTube. For the quality theory alignment, it will be MC, so monthly cycle to 4 hour time frame. Weekly cycle, 1 hour chart. Daily cycle, 15 minute chart. 90 minute, 5 minute. Micro, 1 minute. I will just simplify that um, with abbreviation, but you will understand what is it soon. So time frame alignment will be primordial for your system to be strong. You cannot trade without time frame alignment. Can be either market maker model or quality theory. They can be used together. I don't care, but you need this in your trading if you want to refine lower time frame entry model in the right way. Your model will never, listen to me, your model will not have a strong narrative if you don't apply these concepts. So the quality theory alignment and the market maker alignment. I just teach market maker model involve AMD. Quality theory involve AMDX. What it means, like in the lessons 1, quality theory is just to frame time into quarters. Quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Market maker model remains to 3 different quarters, so AMD, and quality theory is in 4. So, what it means is that it's pretty similar. We can use them together. For example, I'll show an example on the chart just right after. So, for example, if price put in a bullish daily cycle at the low, sorry, or at the high, we don't care. You don't need to wait for a 15-minute candle to do anything correlated, like in the QT alignment. Instead, what you can do is look back to what is correlated to the 15-minute on the market maker time frame alignment, meaning 1 minute. And with this 1 minute alignment on QT, you go back to a microcycle SMT. So at the end, you have a daily cycle at the high or low, I don't care. 15 minute, so 1 minute, 1 minute into microcycle, and microcycle into the entry model. I'll just show an example on the chart right away. Like right there, pretty simple. We have a daily cycle at the high. I'll just go back in time. We have a daily cycle at those high. Do you need to wait for 15-minute cracking correlation or a 15-minute anything, divergence, whatever? No, it's not useful. You can maybe miss the move if you do that. So what we do, we go back into the market maker alignment, meaning 1 minute, and what is correlated to 1 minute? Microcycle SMT. I just hide that. What it means is that it's like, it's just an example. It's not exactly that, but you get the point. Price put in a microcycle now. So do you still need the 15-minute confirmation? Absolutely not. You have the confirmation in the 1 minute. So you take your entry on the 1 minute, whatever is your entry model, and you target whatever convinced to your entry model. I don't care. And it's simply like that. You refine the 15-minute being the higher time frame into the lower time frame. So you go, if we go back, we have QT alignment into market maker alignment, into QT alignment, into entry. That's it. It's simple as that. There's nothing super complex about it. It takes time for people who never trade with time frame alignment. It can be either market maker model or quality theory. But at the end, it's not very that complicated, and you need to understand that if you want to go deeper into quality theory. Now, let's talk about sequential SMT. You're probably there for that. So listen well, take notes. It will be great. So sequential SMT or SSMT is simply an SMT, a regular one, just between two different quarters from a cycle. For example, a daily cycle, what we just shown on the chart. So what is correlated to 15 minute? To the daily cycle, 15 minute. So you go in the 15-minute chart to mark out your daily cycle SSMT. Your daily cycle SSMT needs to be two different quarters, but two close quarters, meaning Q1, Q2 SSMT, Q2, Q3, Q3, Q4, or Q4, Q1. SSMT cannot be made between more than two quarters, like Q3, Q1. Like right there. You can see YM swept the Q1 low while ES and NQ didn't. This doesn't mean anything. We don't trade that. We never marked out our SSMT this way. Instead, we mark them out this way. YM didn't swap this low, ES either, and NQ did. So we have a daily cycle SSMT, sorry, at the lows between Q1 and Q2, not Q1 and Q3. Sequential SMT, for those who doesn't exactly know what it is simply something we will use to refine reversal between quarters. Simply like that. There's nothing complex about sequential SMT. I hate when people try to make sequential SMT something so complex. There is nothing complex in that. I use quality theory for SSMT, and I use SSMT to frame more precise reversal, to know exactly whenever we will reverse. In favor of what? I just said it. Narrative, power of three, market maker model. That's why I said in the beginning, you need to understand that. Because you can understand that we make an SSMT at the lows between Q1 and Q2. But if you don't understand how power of three works, or market maker model, those SSMT will always rape you. There is nothing you can do with it. You need to understand that. So, referring to the AMDX and XAMD lessons in the lessons one, sorry, Q3 and Q4 SSMT will always, not always, but many times will be stronger for manipulation or distribution. I don't recommend giving too much attention to that. If you have an SMT between Q1 Q2, if you have your entry, take it. We don't care. But just for a hint and just for your overall understanding, Q2 and Q4 will most of the time manipulate or distribute, meaning more volatility, meaning more movement. So can be better, like we can see there. 3 4 3 4 manipulation, distribution, reversal, continuation. So like I just said, the understanding of SSMT, it's the most important thing you can have with quality theory. You need to have that. You need to understand that. Narrative will always beat SSMT. Sequential SMT doesn't absolutely mean higher time frame reversal or continuation, whatever. You can't pattern trade sequential SMT. Bias will never be built off sequential SMT. We're always referring to the same thing as we did before, or as you probably did if you traded before starting to look into quality theory, because most of people that wants to get into quality theory are there to simply refine, to become better, more precise, getting better entry. Rarely I will see people starting with quality theory directly, because it's kind of more complex, because you need to understand the two difference. You need to understand ICT and quality theory. That's two totally different things. You need to put them together. So you probably traded ICT before. Can be whatever model. You can have whatever. It can be inversion or any model. You probably traded ICT, like most of traders. But inside of those traders, some will never really learn about power of three and market maker model, which is the narrative. So we will always, at least I will always refer my narrative, my bias, and everything to ICT, to the market maker model and power of three. I just use QT to refine it. I'll repeat that 1,000 times if I need to. So, and the overall market sentiment makes sense. So power of three and market maker model will always be your narrative. Or like I said 5 times, you can look either at my or ICT content, whatever, just to learn about market maker model and power of three. Here's the last slide of this video. So here's the cheat sheet for SSMT. Just a complete one. You can screenshot it. You can write it on a paper. I don't care. A yearly cycle SSMT will be on the daily chart. On the daily chart, you will find yearly cycle SSMT. Quarterly cycle will be on the 6 hour chart. I never, and I will never use the 6 hour chart. I don't like it. Like, for me, personally, if you go on there, like, I don't care, 75 minute and 162 minute, you will never find the same structure as the normal time frame all people use. So I'd rather just look at what people see and trade like that. So I'll never use the 6 hour chart. We have monthly cycle, meaning 4 hour chart, weekly cycle, 1 hour chart, daily cycle, 15 minute chart, 90 minute cycle, 5 minute chart, micro cycle, 1 minute chart. There is more thing about sequential SMT, but I will not talk about that freely, because there is type of sequential SMT. There is like 3 types, and also there is more thing about time frame alignment, but I'm not able to talk that freely on YouTube, because, which makes sense, I paid for that, so I don't want to give access to everyone of that knowledge. I think people must pay for that. Can be me or someone else. I don't care, but must pay for that because that's great sauce and everything. So just to do a quick recap with y'all, the lessons two was about sequential SMT and time frame alignment. You have the two cheat sheet. You can take notes or screenshot it. I recommend do both. I don't care. Just take notes of that. The biggest takeaway of this video is just understand what is a sequential SMT. Very simple. Like I said, just rewatch the video if you didn't, because you better listen to me if you want to learn. Makes sense. And the biggest thing is just understanding that sequential SMT will never beat the overall narrative. So you need to learn about power of three and market maker model before continue deeper into quality theory. So the correct correlation, entry model, and everything. So I just recommend continue to watch those listen while also learning about power of three and market maker model to give you the chance to learn more about narrative. I also can recommend watching my trade recap about quality theory. I don't, like I said, talk in depth about quality theory because I don't give that for free, but I talk about power of three and market maker model in totally free. No cost, nothing. You just watch it, take notes, and you learn. Simply like that. So if you want a Notion page with all those information, but like more condensed together, you can join my Discord. It's in my bio. And DM me, and I'll send you the invitation. Everything is free, like I said. If I teach that on YouTube, it's because I'm giving it for free. I don't care about making money with that. I just want you guys to learn about quality theory if you liked it, because many trader will talk about quality theory on YouTube just to sell their course or brand or whatever. I just want to share the information I'm gaining over time and helping people. That's it. So I hope you guys love or like this lessons too. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it because I'm putting a big amount of time, pretty much, for y'all. And yeah, ask you guys for lessons three. We'll talk about cracking correlation and everything. So yeah, see y'all and goodbye.